discuss or look at the basic architecture of Kubernetes part 1. So this is the part 1 of this architecture video, and in this we'll be covering about the overview of the Kubernetes components, the basic architecture, and what is the master, worker, node, ports, and cluster. These things which we are going to cover in this particular video. So, before starting this, I want to ask you one question. Like, if you worked in a team, so in a team which we have some of the components, like we get one manager, some team members, and the manager is responsible for managing his whole team. So on the same basis, on the same criteria, the architecture also works, that Kubernetes architecture. So here I have one image for you guys. So here you will see the manager is there, and here's some 3 persons are there. So manager and all person is making up one team. Okay, so manager is responsible for managing and coordinating with these person or these team members. So in the similar case with the Kubernetes architecture as well, the manager is get replaced with the master node, and the persons is get replaced with the worker nodes. Okay, so these 3 are the worker nodes, and the whole thing makes up as the cluster. Okay, so this is the cluster which is made up with the master node and the worker nodes, and in the worker node we have these things. I will describe it with you what are all those things. Okay, so I hope it is clear to you what is the master node and what is the worker nodes. Okay, so we'll go deep down into this about the worker nodes and all the cluster. So this whole thing is called as the cluster. I hope it is clear. So here I have some nodes on the cluster, what is cluster and all those things. So here you can see the first point which we are covering is the master node is responsible for managing the cluster. And also whenever we deploy the Kubernetes, then we get a cluster. Okay, it's correct. And what is a cluster? If someone asks you what is a cluster, so cluster is nothing but the set of machines. Okay, and you can see that is called nodes. So these are the nodes. This is the node 1, this is node 2, this is node 3. Okay, and if we go further, here you can see there can be more than one master node in a cluster to provide a cluster with failover and high availability. So here you can see, like here we have only provided one master node. Okay, but in the real life scenario we can have multiple master nodes in a cluster. So because if one cluster fails or one particular machine or particular node fails, then other can be used. So it just useful for the application or whatever the container, whatever the cluster is there, it should work always. That's why the high availability should be there. And also you can see the multiple cluster in Kubernetes architecture. It is also possible, like multiple cluster is also possible in the Kubernetes architecture. We can have cluster 1 and cluster 2, cluster 3. And also in clusters, we can have multiple master nodes and all those things. Okay. So these are some of the basic information about the cluster. And also now we will deep down into these pods. Okay. So here you will see some of the points on nodes and pods. So here you will see what is a node. So a node can be a physical machine, a virtual machine, or virtual machine on the cloud which we run on, like EC2 instance, like VM, Windows VM, Linux VM on AWS or Azure portal, which we do. So it can be anything, like a node can be anything, and each node in Kubernetes contain one or more pods. So now let me describe you these things. This is the pod. So what is pod? So pod is nothing but like in each the worker node or in each node the pod is there. Like here you can see each pod contains one or more containers, and containers are responsible for running the actual containerized application code, while pods provide a logical host for those containers and manage the shared resources such as networking and storage. So actually what happens, like in our previous class we have talked about, like one application can have the multiple containers. Okay, so what happens, like when we do deployment and all, so while in worker node we can have the multiple pod. Okay, so in multiple pods, and in each pod there can be the multiple containers, and also here with containers we get one storage space as well. So there is a big concept about this all pod thing, like They share the same storage, and also all the containers out there, whatever the containers out there, they share the same storage as well. Here we get one volume as well. So they share the same storage, and also the same network is being shared with the within each each nodes. There is, suppose there is one pod. So if you look at here, so here we have three pods. Pod 1 is there, pod 2 is there, pod 3 is there. So everyone will have the IP like 10.0.0.1, 10.0.0.2, 10.0.0.3. So like they work on the same network as well. So this is the like basic architecture of the Kubernetes. Okay. In our next class, we will look into the further thing, like what are the like complex architecture things inside this Kubernetes architecture class. So I hope you got it. If you have any query, you can ask us. So that's all for Louise, and I'll meet you in the next video. Thank you for watching.